very much, fellow Africans, and welcome to this episode of the Change for Africa campaign. Fellow Africans, I must once again say that I'm very humbled and pleased to present to you our 58th episode of the Change for African campaign. And so therefore, fellow Africans, today, being on Wednesday, it's all about our third pillar of the Change for African campaign. It's all about the resources that we have as an African continent, putting in mind that we are not short of resources, and we have a lot of resources that are they are the requisite conditions needed for any country or continent to be able to succeed. We have everything, all the way from the human resource, from the natural resources, and all of these things, we are full of them. And so for Africans, tackling this pillar of the Change for African campaign, pillar number 3, as I continue with my look at the UNSDG 17 goals, just in general, what we have been focusing on since last week, and today I'll be focusing on goal number 6, or SDG number 6. There's a sustainable development goal number 6. It's all about clean water and sanitation. This is a very critical role, a very critical goal. It's a very enormous goal when it comes to delivering the world, when it comes to making the world a better place to even live. And in this context, it's a great goal when it comes to making Africa a very great continent for people to be able to live and sustain themselves very good. And so the goal is all about clean water and sanitation, whereby the core of it is that to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. And remember, this is a global goal. It's a UNSDG goal, but then the world is made up of continents, or from a continent being made up of countries, Kenya and Uganda, Nigeria, all those countries makes a continent, or even Portugal or Spain, they make Europe, all those things. So here it's about Africa, and Africa as a continent, it's part of the global. Meaning, when an initiative like this of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, or when a UNSDG goal is here, once Africa is not able or has not been able to make steps about this goal in terms of delivering it and even bettering or even being able to implement the goal so that we see some changes about this, it means the ratings of how the goal has been able to progress will remain to be poor. And so it's all about clean water and sanitation. And remember, when I speak about resources and related to this goal, it's this way, very simple. That resources, we talk from things. We all start from we have the water resources, or the water resources, of which we have a lot of them. In Africa, we are bordered with so many water sources. Even apart from the oceans, we have the lakes, many of them, the Great Rift Valley lakes. We have the lakes and the rivers all over Africa. So we realize that currently the situation is not very good, whereby in Africa, over 400 million Africans lack access to clean drinking water. That is it's a very grave situation, that over 400 million Africans lack access to safe drinking water. So that is almost half of the Africa's population, or thereabout. And then over 700 million people lack proper sanitation. Remember, the goal, it's all about clean water and sanitation. So if over 700 million people lack proper sanitation, it is also a grave thing, because sanitation also comes with health issues. Once the sanitation is poor, then it means that the rate at which our people are succumb due to some chronic diseases or some health health complications that are brought about by lack of proper sanitation is very high. And also in the same context, that water scarcity affects agriculture, energy, and industry. And remember, not that you do not have water, not that we have the scarce of water, but it is because we have not been able to put up requisite systems to be able to make this water available at any place. The scarcity comes just at a point that it is a place that is scarce of water. Maybe a particular area has scarcity of water, but then if you move from that place, the other place, we have a lot of water, but then the systems that are required to be able to make sure that once we have realized we do not have water at this place, then what can we do? Because it is not that the whole continent or country that lacks water in another place, but the other place has even a lot of water. A lot of it is even deposited in our oceans here, the Indian Ocean, or even any other ocean that bordering Africa. A lot of this water goes to waste, or even goes into those salty water bodies. But then what can we do? We are supposed to make sure that, since this is a very critical resource, water, it is a very at heart resource, water, and all about, because water actually comes with things to do with sanitation, because for us to be able to make sure that we have proper sanitation, in some cases we also need water to be able to carry out or to live in a sanitized environment. And so it is also an issue of concern. Remember, all about water, it is a resource that is needed also in terms of agricultural practices to be able to sustain or to have substantial amounts of food. And also climate change is one reason in droughts and floods. It's also another thing that even though water is a very critical resource and we have enough points to be able to make this resource work for us, but then we have the ravaging effects of climate change. So the question is, since water is a resource that in Africa we cannot say that we lack water, enough water, it's a very critical resource. We have enough water, but then the effects of climate change are coming in a way that they're even being worse to be able to make since the climate is changing, then it means they come with the effects of making sure that now we have the drought effects coming in place, and droughts come about when water starts to maybe depreciate or go down. So it means we also need to look at ways in which we can preserve our water bodies, because this is a very critical resource that we're supposed to be able to preserve so as to for the future generations and also for the current generations to be able to thrive into. So these are very serious things that we're supposed to be focusing on. Remember, like countries like Rwanda and Ethiopia are improving access, access of water with some national policies. We need some very sane policies to be able to come in place to help us to deal with the issues of water and the scarcity of water. Remember, the UNSDG goal number 6, all about water and proper sanitation, connects with our pillar number 3 of the Change for African campaign, all about the African resources. And then they come with the thing that Africa have enough resources, and Africa, yes, it is a goal that we have to make sure that we are able to make our systems to work so that the African population is able to have access to this clean water and have access to proper sanitation and have access to affordable water, for drinking and during the operation. Once we do this, Africa has that potential because we have that resource. That resource is here, but we need to see on how we can modernize the resource. We need to see how we can, make the resource better, because actually, if Africa was serious, we have a lot of oceans here, ocean water. This water can be, it is saline, yes, but we can dissolve that water so that it can be used. It's a lot of water, but then countries have done it. Go to Netherlands. They have done it. They have been able to carry out proper ways in which they can preserve the water sources and make sure that the people have access to proper sanitation, the people have access to affordable drinking water, and carrying out the operations. Thank you very much, fellow Africans. Let's meet tomorrow as we discuss about our 4th pillar of the Change for African campaign. It's all about our fourth pillar. It's all about the living standards of our people in Africa in connection with the SDG goals, and we shall see which goals shall be focusing on tomorrow. Thank you and have an interesting afternoon. Let's meet then.